Claude Shannon was an eccentric genius with a wild sense of curiosity, a love of unicycles, and a gift for making math fun. Known as the father of information theory, he laid the foundation for our digital world with the same joyful creativity he brought to juggling and inventing robots. Here's a look at this remarkable figure's life, from his childhood tinkering to his playful inventions, and why we owe him a big thank you every time we send a text or watch a video online. Claude Elwood Shannon was born in the quiet town of Gaylord, Michigan, on April 30th, 1916. From the beginning, it was clear he was going to be the kind of kid who didn't settle for normal hobbies. While other kids were outside playing sports, young Claude was taking apart radios, making model planes, and inventing machines. At age 12, he rigged up a telegraph system connecting his house to a friend's down the street, which was about as close as the 1910s got to text messaging. You could say he was destined for a future in electronics. This fascination with how things worked would lead him to the University of Michigan, where he studied electrical engineering and math. By the time he arrived at MIT for graduate school, his mind was whirring with ideas that would change the world. Claude Shannon's first big success came from a question so simple that only a genius would ask it. Could circuits just use on-off switches to solve problems? The answer, it turned out, was a resounding yes. Shannon realized that electronic circuits could be simplified using binary code, a concept that we now call digital logic. His 1937 master's thesis introduced this idea, and it was so important that it's often called the most important master's thesis of all time. In a nutshell, Shannon's digital logic laid the groundwork for the computers we use today. But Shannon didn't stop at digital logic. Oh no, he had bigger plans. In 1948, while working at Bell Labs, he wrote a mathematical theory of communication. If his thesis was the spark, this paper was the fireworks show. Shannon invented a way to measure and encode information, creating the bit, short for binary digit, as the fundamental unit of data. This concept of bit and his approach to information became the foundation of all digital communication. Shannon's paper wasn't just another academic publication, it was a blueprint for the digital world. The idea of breaking down any form of data, text, sound, images, into bits, and then reconstructing it with perfect accuracy was revolutionary. His work allowed for data to travel across noisy channels without losing quality, paving the way for the internet, streaming, and all modern communications. In short, Shannon gave us the world of zeros and ones, which means he's behind everything from Netflix to your emails to video calls. Shannon was a genius, but he also had a life outside of his work, and much of that life was shaped by his wife, Betty. His first marriage was brief, but with his second wife, Betty, he found a lifelong partner who understood his quirky mind. Betty, a mathematician herself, shared Claude's love of puzzles and games. Together, they created mind-reading tricks to perform at parties and loved playing with logic challenges. They had 3 children together, and although Shannon was often busy with his inventions, he always found time for his family. Shannon's home life was as unconventional as his inventions. While he was a loving father, he was also a father with a strong sense of humor and a never-ending curiosity. Imagine having a dad who invents a useless machine that turns itself off every time you flip the switch. Just because he thought it was funny, his children grew up in an environment that celebrated curiosity, silliness, and the joy of learning. One of the best things about Claude Shannon was his quirky personality and his love of fun. He wasn't just a scientist buried in equations, he was a kid at heart. He loved to juggle, and he was pretty good at it. So good, in fact, that he built a Theseus, a robotic mouse that could navigate a maze. He even published a mathematical analysis of juggling, because why not? Shannon was also known for riding a unicycle down the halls of Bell Labs where he worked. Sometimes he would even juggle while riding the unicycle. Imagine your company's biggest thinker riding around on one wheel, tossing balls in the air. It was classic Claude Shannon. And then there was his useless machine, a box with a single switch on top. Flip the switch and a little mechanical arm would pop out of the box and turn the switch off. It served absolutely no purpose other than to amuse its creator. But Shannon loved it, and so did everyone else. It was the ultimate expression of his sense of humor, an invention that does nothing except undo itself. So, why does Claude Shannon still matter? Quite simply, he laid the foundation for the digital age. Every time you send a message, stream a video, or browse the web, You're using concepts Shannon developed. Without him, there would be no internet, no cell phones, no email, and certainly no social media. His work was the beginning of the digital revolution, and his theories are still at the heart of all digital communication today. But beyond his technical genius, Shannon taught us that playfulness and curiosity are essential ingredients in creativity. He showed the world that you can take your work seriously without taking yourself too seriously. After all, here was a man who invented the bit and the useless machine, who gave us digital logic and also loved unicycles. His life is a reminder that some of the best ideas come from just messing around and following your curiosity, no matter how strange it may seem. Claude Shannon passed away in 2001, but his spirit lives on in every gadget, app, and device that we rely on today.